Hey guys, King of Charmanders, and today I bring to you... Oh wait, hold on, I forgot my intro, jeez. Today I'm your judge, jury, and your analyst, and I bring to you the top 10 most common Pokemon used in Digimon! I'm just kidding, that's a different franchise. I mean for Ultra Premiere, okay? You know, I try to be funny, but then my brain kind of died, so don't... You can roast me, you may roast me, so... It's what it is. So this is the list from Ytxpikachu, so make sure you follow Ytxpikachu on Twitter as well as Twitch. And if you do notice here, there's actually... oh my gosh, like... It's really... would you like the original recipe, or would you like extra crisp, or extra crispy? Yes, that's a Space Jam quote. For those of you that don't know, Space Jam 2 is coming in theaters. I do watch the NBA. I am a Warriors fan, for those, like, if you watched my previous videos. But yes, that is a Space Jam reference, and it's coming soon. But other than that, also, the reason why I make that pop culture reference is because you have a whole bunch of extra large Pokemon. There's, like, XL Pokemon pretty much infest this list. In most of the top 10, it is XL Pokemon. The good thing is, if you look over here, there's actually, like, a lot of them, or the top 10 to be exact, a lot of them also aren't XL, so it's good to see that old Pokemon, like, that aren't, like, gonna cost you your liver, your arm, your leg, or $69 of raid passes just for Ultra Premier Cup. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started with the top 10 most common Pokemon in Ultra Premier Cup for Season 8, Go Battle League. Alright, starting at number 10, this is the greatest evolution of any starter of all freaking time, with two, not one, but two mega evolutions. It is the almighty, my boy / girl if you have one, Charizard, and it is hotter than any fan service that any anime series or franchise will ever provide. Actually, I take that back. You know, anime fan service is pretty sweet. Do not Google it, please. If you are under the age of 18, which, well, yeah, just don't Google it. But anyways, as you see here, we do have Charizard, and Charizard does come at a whooping 9.52%. So Charizard in Ultra Premiere, seeing it really, like, so popular is really good. It's a great budget pick. And as you see here, they do prefer that you use Fire Spin, but I do think a lot of people are using Dragon Breath. And in Open Ultra League, I've actually encountered a lot of Dragon Breath Charizard too, and they've absolutely wiped the floor with me because, you know, Charizard is that freaking good. There's nothing wrong with Fire Spin though. If you're also using Wing Attack, just use whichever version you are used to. However, Charizard does stand at a whooping 9.52%. Now, there is an enormous difference compared to Season 7. If you looked at the spreadsheet, there's actually a comparison of Season 7 versus Season 8 data, and Charizard actually dropped a bit in usage. It went from 14% all the way to 9.52, which is a whooping 36% change, so not a lot of battlers are actually using Charizard, but Charizard is still really good. To take the top 10 out of all the other combinations you possibly have is really, really good, and it just shows that Charizard is such a beast for Ultra Premiere. And as you see here, Charizard, what it beats... It's pretty generic at what it beats. It beats Venusaur, Gallade, Togekiss, etc. You're also able to beat Dragonite and other dragons if you use the Dragon Breath version. Along with that, Wing Attack does allow you to serve you an additional purpose as well if you do have a Wing Attack Zard. So Charizard is a great budget for Ultra Premier Cup. For anyone looking for a budget pick, Charizard is one of the greatest and hottest budget picks for Ultra Premier Cup, standing at number 10. I like waffles, you like waffles, we like pancakes. Actually, we don't really like pancakes. If you know that song, it's like, it's a very, like that, oh man, I don't even remember when that song released, but, you know, it's a very fitting choir and chorus for number 9. At number 9 stands Galarian Stunfisk Extra freaking large. The most powerful overall Pokemon of Ultra Premier Cup is now at a whooping plus 129%. So back in Season 7, it was 4.94. Now it's at 11.31. So that means, as to be expected, a lot of battlers now have giant pancakes. Well, it's not really that big. It's just really, like, you know, like, as for its power level is definitely over level 50, but you know what? It is very, very swole, and it does stand at number 1. Galarian Stunfisk XL is the most powerful mon in Ultra Premier, and not to see the reason why. It can wipe the floor with a lot of water variations, can kill a lot of cores, and it's just an absolute destroyer of pretty much all of your ELO. It's destroyed my ELO pretty plentiful as well when I faced it in Ultra Premier, so it's extremely powerful and a huge difference. This does show that as seasons go by, obviously more people are going to build XL Pokemon, but the usage for this Pokemon is absolutely ridiculous. To put it more in perspective, if you go down, like, the number, like, I would say, like, 20, which is, like, Scrafty or Dragaggle, that's where G-Fisk used to be. Now it stands at the number 9. Not good. Not a good look for those of you that dislike XLs in Ultra Premier, or if you just dislike the XL system in general. So I mean general. I think it could be a lot better, to be honest, and this just shows that now everybody's got pancakes. Which one do you have? Do you like apple? Do you like caramel? Wait, hold on, no. There's just pancakes. Do you like cinnamon pancakes, which is my personal favorite? I love Cinnabon pancakes. Do you like apple, or what is it, like apple, what else, bananas, etc. Blueberry pancakes, those are actually pretty good as well. Chocolate chip is pretty dope as well. Alright, standing at number 7, we have a, oh wait, 10, 9, 8, no, this is not 7, this is number 8. And in number 8, we have Thanksgiving came early, very early. Actually, Thanksgiving's in 5 more months, so to be honest with you, it's not that long. But anyways, as you see here at number 28, we have Talonflame. Talonflame actually has the, like, it hasn't changed much at all. It went from 12.58 to 12.50, which means there's hardly been any change as far as, like, Talonflame usage. You will still use the Flaming Firebird, the Phoenix, the thing that absolutely makes Moltres look, yeah. If I ever imagined that a Talonflame, even in the well, I used it in the MSG. I did use it in the MSG. I did use it in XY. I never imagined it'd be this powerful, though, for gobattleleague. And as you see here, it stands at, again, it's still used a lot. Not as much as it used to, but, like, it's barely a difference. Basically, the usage for Talonflame is the same. So as you see here, Talonflame is really good just because its ability to beat Swampert in the one shield, or if you're able to burb it, your burb does a lot of damage, and there's not a lot of things that resist both fire and steel. So that's why Talonflame is mad good, and it's also an incredible beast in Open Ultra League as well. So again, not too much change in Talonflame. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the bird, because if you've seen it, you've probably either one died to it, or you've destroyed it, and you ate it, and you had it for you. If you like chicken, chicken's actually really good. You know, fried chicken's a great recipe, you know, it's like, man, I love chicken. I love chicken. Alright, now the true lucky number 7. Bow down to Mr. or Mrs. Pringles. Whichever version you have, the pink or the blue, stands at number 7. Yes, it is literally the number 7 most popular. It actually has the highest. Remember when I told you Jellicent XL would be beastly? Guess what? Jellicent XL went from 3.73 from Season 7 all the way to 13.10. A huge increase of 251%. So that means a lot of people went out in rainy weather, caught a bunch of frillish, or they're walking their giant jellyfishes. The Man of War or the Lady of War. Please don't get stung by one of those things. Those actually hurt a lot. I've never had before, but one of my friends is this diver. They have, and they swore it's the most painful thing since the Friday song releasing a very long time ago. But make sure you don't need to listen to that. Please do not YouTube that. That was a terrible song. Jeez. But anyways, Jellicent XL is incredibly powerful. As you see here, really does a great It's insanely strong because of its ability to take out basically its own water archetype, as well as having the ability to debuff with Bubble Beam. You can even run Ice Beam if you want to, and Shadow Ball hits a lot of things hard. There's not a lot of things in this meta that will destroy Jellicent, like that Jellicent doesn't have a chance against, or it won't do a ton of damage against, unless it's like a dark type. But it just goes to show you how Jellicent XL, as I predicted, or as I mentioned in my analysis, is just a bow down, be jelly, be mad jelly if your opponent has one. and I am definitely jealous if you have one because I still need to build one myself. But it does have the biggest increase, like I mentioned, at a whooping 251%. So compared to Season 7, Season 8, a lot of people have Emperor or Empress Jellyfish running rampant in Ultra Premier Cup. Alright, at number 6, we do have the Toad the Frog. Do you like Mudkips? I do like Mudkips as well. And just Swampert is still reigning as one of the most powerful or most commonly used, well, it actually is one of the most powerful, as well as most commonly used, like I predicted in the meta-analysis. At number 6, at a whooping 15.48%, which means a lot of battlers are using Swampert. Again, fantastic budget. Fantastic budget pick for Ultra Premier Cup. And it goes to show you that it's just as good in this cup as right now. Not only does it statistically stand really powerful at number 3 or number 4, whether you have the Shadow or the regular version, but it's just insanely strong. Mudshot and Hydro Cannon. For those of you that don't know, Hydro Cannon was actually nerfed a long time ago. Hydro Cannon was so broken and did so much damage that Niantic's like, alright, it's literally the only community move that literally had to be nerfed, just for the sake of Swampert not running through your entire team, like, clockwise. So, for all of your 1 HP in a Dreams, like, that you fired with a Swampert, you could have killed them many moons ago. But anyway, Swampert does run at number 6. Again, 15.48%. It did drop quite a lot from 20%. So 20% of teams actually are like, 20% of teams actually had a Swampert in them with a change of minus 23%. So that's a huge drop. Well, yeah, that's a pretty huge, well, it's kind of huge, but seeing it still in like the top 6 means it's still being used a lot. And like I said, if you're looking for a budget pick, this is definitely something that would keep you long-term use. Swampert's been relevant since like the preseason. That's how strong Swampert is. So if you're looking to get in Ultra League one of these days, make sure you consider building a Swampert as soon as possible. It's really that good. Alright, so if you've ever watched the movie Happy Feet, it's a bunch of penguins, and here as you stand at number 5, we have something that's really happy with a shiny metal crown, and it's ready to take your Elo with a bunch of waterfalls. It will take your Elo out and make it run down the toilet. Well, not really the toilet, because, you know, it's not like a toilet bird like Pelipper, but it's an Emperor Penguin, or Empress Penguin, depending on which one you have. Either one, it is called Empoleon. Empoleon stands at 16.0%. Tied with the number 4 one, but it also, there's a huge, so for Empoleon, it actually took a, huge drop. Like Swampert, Empoleon went down 24%, so it went from 21.14 down to 16.07, so that's a pretty large drop, but still, Empoleon still taking top 5 still means it's still really freaking good, and it's really strong, and it just shows you that Empoleon is still a really great pick for Ultra Premier. Also a great budget pick, so it's been very powerful for a very long time, and it still stands as one of the strongest Pokemon, or even, yeah, one of the strongest and most used in Ultra Premier Cup. As you see here, its ability to take down the Charmers as well as Charizard makes it so valuable, and with Drill Peck, you can cover those grass. Well, you're technically not weak to grass, but, you know, you still take a ton of damage from getting hit by a Venusaur. Empoleon isn't the thickest thing, and it doesn't have a big butt, doesn't have a big booty, isn't super thick, but still does a ton of damage over time, and you can farm down a whole Charizard in certain scenarios. So Empoleon is very strong, very powerful, and like I said, stands at number 5. Also great budget pick at 10k dust. It is a little hard to put around in teams, a little difficult to build around, because compared to things like Charizard and Swampert, not as flexible, but it still does the job, and I definitely recommend, especially in the Empoleon lead, as you see here. Empoleon is strongest in the lead and does really well in the lead or closes scenario, especially if it does resist, and it's a bonus that it resists Charm, it also resists Charizard, and it also resists Poison type. So the new Nidoqueen meta being out means it's really powerful. It also completely walls Alolan Ninetales. So if you face an A9, Empoleon does wall Weather Ball, Powder Snow, Size Shock, Dazzling Gleam, and Charm. So Empoleon is A9's worst nightmare because it technically walls the unholy crap out of Alolan Ninetales XL. And speaking of Alolan Ninetales XL, the beautiful, if you have a shiny XL, I am super jelly, mega ultra super unholy jelly. So It's very, 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 very powerful. And it stands at 16.07, like I mentioned before. Now, the biggest thing is that you actually... So, the thing about A9 is A9 stands at a whooping 144%. So, just like G-Fisk, it went from 6.58 from S7 to 16.07 at a whooping 144, like I mentioned, which means a lot of people are using Alolan Ninetales XL. It's not really a wonder why. Powder Stone, Weather Ball, you fire fast. Dazzling Gleam does big damage if it hits. It also does a good number against Umbreon XL because it does resist Snarl, and it's just overall a very, very strong Mon. As you see here, puts a ton of pressure on the Dragon and the Ice, the Dragon and the Grass meta, as you see here, and it does resist Dragon Breath as well, so Kingdra does not like Alolan Ninetales at all. Alolan Ninetales does kind of fall prey to the Steel types, just because Steel types do have a very strong match against Alolan Ninetales. And it's still prone to dying to things like Rock Slide, which is why it loses to Shadow Champ in the One Shield. But overall, it's an incredibly powerful lead. If you get a positive lead, it will break shields, and it will do very, very well against you. So, again, Alolan Ninetales is beast. And if you've watched The Fox and the Hound, it's a very, very old... It's a very, very... I'm not going to mention the company because I do not want to get copyright suits. But I will mention that's a really, really great children's movie. And it shows that the Fox is still very, very mighty. Well... What's a Hound? Hound Hour, right? Yeah, like, no, A9 is definitely more mighty. The Fox is much mightier than the Hound in Pokemon Go and for Season 8 Ultra Premier Cup. Alrighty, now we got the big three. Not the My Hero Academia big three, but if you've watched My Hero Academia, man, I love that anime. And the big three is a really, really great... Well, in the anime references too, if you do watch anime, the big three also was referred to the top three animes in, like, America, I suppose, where you have Naruto, Bleach, and I think One Piece. So, yeah, there was also the big three. Hint, hints. There's also big three in basketball, which LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade fame. Well, actually, no, it was actually back in the Celtics. But, you know, enough talking about basketball. Again, we have the big and top three of Ultra Premier Cup. And here we have Kingdra. Why? 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 And you know what's funny? As I say why? Because it's at 11.75% S7. Guess its usage now. It's at 17.26. It's one of the top three most used mons in Ultra Premier Cup at a whooping 47%. So, it's literally being used more than it was in any other season, which is just ridiculous. But it's either rock, paper, one of my good friends, Joe Butters, and he made it, like, I think I saw one of his Twitter posts this morning, he was like, rock, paper, Octazooka. And I think it's hilarious, because it's so true! With Octazooka, you could take back Switch, or with Octazooka, you could, like, just so overtly dominate your opponent. Two Octazookas, like, if you get an Octazooka on the Switch, take back Switch, and get Octazooka on the incoming mon, it's pretty much GG's. -2 for two mons is just incredibly unfair for a coin toss, arguably even more actually, it's technically odds being as well. It's more unfair than Cresselia because Cresselia, when it was buffed, had a 30% chance. Kingdra has a 50% chance with a -2. So it's very, very strong and it's very, very annoying. But yeah, And it can, it can also go to level 41.5, so it can actually even go XL, which even makes it more annoying. But you know what? Kingdra is incredibly powerful. If you're considering using one, it is, well, statistically, as we see here, not only the most powerful, but one of the most effective save switches. So it's still, unless they end up nerfing Octazooka, which I don't see happening anytime soon, because it's literally had, since before Go Battle League, Octazooka, I was here, I was battling when the Octazooka debuff came out. And it hasn't changed since, nor have they considered ever nerfing Octazooka. So I don't think it'll happen since it's been out for so long, I don't think it'll happen in your future. So if you're looking for a long-term investment, at least as of right now, Kingdra might be a very powerful save switch if you're considering playing Ultra Premier. But as you see here, just the usage rating, etc., makes it just so powerful. And like I said, you could even get an XL one. It's so great because not just because it's debuff, but overall it does so well against so many different combinations. It gives Swampert an incredibly hard time, takes out Venusaur, it can even take out Empoleon, and if you outrage through shields, more than likely you will OKO your opponent. So it's incredibly powerful, and like I said, if you do get the debuff, it almost guarantees you will win Switch. Unless you're, like, locked into a Charmer or something like that. But even then, like, it's incredibly powerful and very, very strong in Ultra Premier. Definitely recommend, if you haven't built one already or having second thoughts, you're going to see it a lot, or have contingency plans to take it out, because you're going to see it a lot. Alright, this actually makes me pretty happy, but at number 2 stands Venusaur. Venusaur, ironically, even though it dropped off, if you look at the spreadsheet, it actually dropped off a whole 25%, meaning Venusaur actually dropped from 23.77, which is almost a quarter of teams that was inputted into his data had Venusaur in it. And it stands at a 17.86, so it's still really high. Which really stands, Venusaur is probably very likely used in the closer, and you see a lot of Venusaur teams in the closer just because Venusaur is really that powerful. Venusaur is a very powerful budget pick. Like I mentioned, if you want budget Ultra Premier, Venusaur is your flower, your plant. It's not Poison Ivy, so if you're looking, it's not Poison Ivy, so if you're looking for like a DC comic reference or something like that, well, technically it is Poison Ivy. I mean, you know, it's a poison grass type, so technically it does reach that mark. But the reason why it's so strong is because it does resist both Charm and Fighters. So it resists counter users, it also resists Charmers. So that's why Venusaur is really freaking good. Venusaur also resists the Waterfall users and Ground types. So that's why it's so powerful against so much of the meta. It's very, very strong. But it's also prone to being destroyed by things like Dragonite, Charizard. It can also lose to Kingdra. Kingdra can beat you, especially if it you get hit by an Outrage, you're dead. If you get debuffed by Octazooka, it can survive 2 Frenzy Plants. So, again, Venusaur is very, very strong. But even though you do resist it, Frenzy Plant does so much damage. You can actually take out a Alolan Muck at a certain range. You can also take out Dragonite with Sludge Bomb, and you'll OKO, like, pretty much... You'll OKO Togekiss, you'll OKO Clefables. It's just that good. So if you're looking for another long-term budget investment, like for my top budget teams, Venusaur is definitely something to look at and consider. And standing at number 1, the most common Pokemon used at 18.45%, which is actually not that much compared to the rest of them, but you know, it's still at number 1. And compared to its Season 7 usage, is only at 18.58. So it hasn't relatively changed, but it's still at being at the top. It's really, really cool. And it's Kidomaru! If you don't know who that is, it's Naruto. It's one of the sound ninjas with like 4 arms. And he beat the unholy crap out of Neji. And yeah, it was a really great episode, man. Oh man, I love that episode. Anyways, other than that, your other popular notion is Goro, which was what I call Machamp a lot. Goro is from the Mortal Kombat franchise. It has 4 arms. And it is very, very strong. And it's still really good. You can use Shadow. You can use the regular one. And Shadow and regular champ were featured in my regular Ultra League, my Open Ultra League, as well as Ultra Premier, like, budget teams. Machamp is good just because it had a community day not too long ago, and other than that, just because of the Rock Slide and Cross Chop coverage. Rock Slide does allow you to one-shot Talonflame. It also allows you to get coverage against Flyers, and its ability to Cross Chop so many things to oblivion. It will also win CMP against a ton of things, so unless it's a Ghost type, Machamp is very, very strong. And, well, Ghost and Poison, to be exact, just because Poison does resist fighting as well. Machamp is still very, very strong. Machamp can also Rock Slide Togekiss to death if you're able to take it out of the zeros. You do have to be careful of Confusion users. However, as you see here, it does have an incredibly strong matchup against things like Empoleon, even against Kingdra Save Switch. So if they Save Switch Kingdra to you, Machamp is going to have a great time punching the unholy hell out of that raging king or queen seahorse that you see desperately, like, head bobbing or head banging in the air to the most metal dragon, like to the Dragon Force song, or what any Dragon Force song, to deep and in prayers that it will debuff you. Yeah, but you know, like Machamp is still really powerful, and that's why I consider a lot. Like Machamp will give you long-term use, so if you're iffy about powering up a Machamp, it does have long-term use. Since Season 1, it's been very, very powerful. Cross Chop and Rock Slide has given it a lot of power. And it has, like I said, a lot of long-term use. Shadow Champ is also a very good option, and it is able to give you a lot. Like the Rock Slide will do more damage, give you a higher KO range against things like Dragonite as well as Togekiss. Very, very strong and stands at number 1. Not too much of a difference, like I mentioned before, but Machamp is definitely something to consider. So it's really nice to see some XL Pokemon not take the top of the list, but it's also and just see so many things that aren't, like I said, gonna cost you an arm, a leg, your liver, your wallet, your whole bank account, or half of your savings just to build it for Ultra Premier Cup in Season 8. And that's GG's. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is some really great data. It's kind of cool to see. Like, make sure you guys do follow Ytxpikachu. Again, I put his links, his socials on the description. it's really great he was able to put all this useful data for us, and it's really cool. It's really great to see like how some patterns have changed and just how XLs really have made an impact as the seasons go by. And just to see like the other patterns, as you see here, the overall of the list overall, it does seem like there are a lot like XLs like Nidoking, Scrafty, Dragalge. I think I said that right. Hopefully I did say that. Dragalge, Scrafty, all the other XLs coming out. It's just insane to see just how much XLs have dominated this list. So I would be all for a non-XL, like Ultra League Premier Classic, something like that. I think YTX mentioned that on his post as well. Something that takes out XL Pokemon. That would definitely make it a lot friendlier for barrier to entry for those of you that are looking to get an Ultra League. I am on your side. I do not agree Pokemon Go PvP should be this expensive Stardust-wise. Yes, there's every game out there that's going to cost you to take a bit of time. But Pokemon Go is the only game where you live really does affect where you play. For example, I live in California. I have spots where I can grind. But however, I have traveled to places like in the Philippines where I've lived for like 2 weeks to a month, where I literally had either no spawns or my nearest stop was like 2 miles away. So very rural, almost nothing, and I literally couldn't like walk everywhere, etc. So it's very, again, I do feel for the rural players, and in order for Pokemon Go PvP to truly grow, you need more people to play the game. We need more people to play the game, and we need to make it more available for newer players to play Go Battle League, because, you know, it would be pretty sweet if we could do rental teams, but that would cost Niantic money. Now that one of my friends and me had a conversation. Yes, the reason why Niantic doesn't have rental teams, which makes a lot of sense, is because it would cost them money. Because now that player or said players wouldn't be able to go and spend or like, you know, like do anything. But if you could have newer players rent teams for certain Poké coins, etc., or something of that sort, or buy it using Stardust and rent it for a set amount of time, you could do that as well. Yeah, but I get it, but you know, it's really money driven, etc. But again, like I said, I am for lowering the barrier just so newer players can play. So I have grinded all around the world. I've done many things. I've golden in literally 5 different countries. I've grinded multiple different events. I went to every Go Fest and streamed every Go Fest in 2019. But despite all that, despite all my travels, yes, those of you that grind, yes, I do agree you should get a little bit of a bone up. But Pokemon Go PvP is too new of a system and too paywall high system for it to stay this way. So again, I really do appreciate you guys. And again, I do hope that like there is considerations to lower the barrier to entry to Pokemon Go PvP overall. Because XLs are expensive, man, and take a whole lot of time to get to. Even if you're using DFit or if you're using Rockers, that's a lot of effort to just build something for PvP, like for real. I don't know any other game where you have to go to that lengths of extremes just to get an item like that. Unless you're like raiding with your friends in like MMORPGs just to get a certain item that's like super OP and only one person gets it anyways. But you know what? It's what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, I hope this data does help you out. I did spend a little bit of time trying to like figure out some patterns, etc. But this data is pretty solid, and like I said, it's like hopefully this data does help you out. And if you would like to, please, I am near 2K subs. That's my sub goal, and subbing is totally free. By the time you're done while listening to the sound of my voice, if you put your mouse to the bottom right, you still have a box that says subscribe. If you put your mouse over it, you can easily subscribe and click on the sub button, because the sub button tab will pop up so you can easily subscribe. For those of you already subscribed, I really do appreciate you. I'm about to hit 2K subs. I thought I wouldn't make it till the end of the year, but because of all your support, and I really do appreciate you guys. For those of you already subbed and those of you who consider subbing, almost at 2K. Would make me really happy to reach this goal by the end of the month, which I'm projected to make it before the end of the month or at the end of the month. And I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for all the support you guys give me. Good luck in Go Battle League sets. Again, hopefully this video does really help you out and make you a better analyst as well as a better team builder, and get you to like help you prioritize which mons to build for Ultra Premier Cup and for future seasons. Good luck in your Go Battle League sets, and I will see you guys on the next video.